welcome. I'm Sonicguru, also Dan, and my friend Nikki Worms T17. And if you watched our Doctor Who podcast before, where we started and didn't fucking finish it,
Yeah,
we're gonna actually be dedicated this time to go through review the entirety of Red Dwarf 11.
yeah, since Doctor Who's off for a year, so might as well do this.
Yeah, we're going for a sci-fi drama action family show to a sci-fi comedy,
Yes.
which also has action and drama occasions,
Yeah.
but mostly comedy.
Yeah, it's a comedy. It's a situation comedy show.
Yeah, in space.
In space, yeah. You don't often get that too often.
No, I think since Red Dwarf we had a lot of them.
Yeah, but I'm just saying anything that was relatively good. I mean, remember Hyperdrive? Oh god, that made me want to slit my throat.
Is that the one with Nick Frost?
It was the one with Nick Frost, yeah, and Miranda.
Yeah, never saw that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, this was back when Miranda was still an unknown entity.
Oh, her.
Yes.
She was in a Melissa McCarthy film called Spy with Jason Statham.
Oh, yeah.
She was one of the main characters.
Yeah.
I did not like her.
Yeah, I mean, we don't like her. We're not saying women can't be funny, we just don't think she's funny.
Yeah.
There, let's get on with it.
It could be there's so many times you can watch a socially awkward person.
Yeah, well, it's not that. It's kind of like, ooh, I'm the slightly ditzy woman at times. Ooh. Yeah.
Spy wasn't bad, but anyway, Red Dwarf 11. Before we get distracted by everything else.
Yeah, Red Dwarf 11.
Yeah, it's shown episode 2 so far, and I've been in the US. I have found other means of watching these episodes.
Yeah, because the way it's working now is that they're putting it on the UK TV app or basic download service if you want to watch it, and then they broadcast the episode on the Thursday on my end of the world. So
that's how I actually watch it. I don't watch it on Dave. I watch it on the UK TV app.
Yeah.
Technically, but then again, technology prevails.
Yeah, exactly.
So season 11, episode 1, Twentica.
Yeah. So.
Not a reintroduction. It's like if you watched Red Dwarf before, you don't need a reintroduction. It's just straight in.
Yeah, it's pretty much right back into typical Red Dwarf shenanigans.
It's not like it wasn't like there wasn't 4 years in between shows.
Yeah, I mean it has been. It's been almost 3 years since Series 10. So
3 or 4 years, yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's funny to think how we keep thinking that's it. I keep thinking Series 10 is relatively new, but now it's old compared to what we're having of this in Series 12.
Yeah, I think and Back to Work was in 2009.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of odd that Red Dwarf keeps coming back every so years.
Well, at least they fired out 11 and 12 one after another, so we had 2 years worth.
Yeah, exactly. That's that's a good idea. But anyway,
the overall plot is they're in Starbuck, which actually looks pretty nice. The actual cockpit is different. Then again, it was different between 5 and 6 and 6 and 7.
Yeah, it's funny because again, I actually went to see Red Dwarf being filmed. Yeah, I didn't see it from where I was sitting from the studio space, so it was like tucked around in the corner. So we only saw it through video screens.
Overall, they bring back the simulants, which they actually have names now.
Yeah, well, what were they called? They're a different type of simulants, aren't they? Expeditoids.
Expedite, there you go.
Yeah.
Basically, an expediter.
Yeah.
Through time.
Yeah.
And I think it's very typical because SF Breeze pretty much pointed out like every season has a time travel episode. Except Series 8, I think. No, it has as a time themed one.
Yeah, it's a time themed one, but not traveling backwards and forwards. It's just doing it on people instead of places.
I was thinking Katana, I wasn't thinking Pete. And again, yeah, Pete qualifies more with the time one.
Yeah.
The simulants actually request an item they salvage from a simulant ship, which I can only assume the one from Government of the Apocalypse.
Or
Riverworld.
Yeah.
That's the only one I know.
Right. Well, let's be fair. There's a lot of simulants out there, which we'll get into a bit later.
It turns out that little thing they picked up,
But yeah, the basic setup is basically screwed up.
Sorry?
No, I was saying basically the plot is they want a device which they happen to have lying around as a just to keep the pool table up.
Yeah, just to keep the pool table level.
Yeah.
and they hand it over, but because they do so because apparently they captured Rimmer, but Rimmer was already there
from the future, basically.
Doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's the thing with time travel. It's one of those things. Everybody's been so. We'll get onto that probably a bit later on in the episode. But basically, they want this device to go back into the past to change history so that humanity is revert backwards and forwards, and it's up to the Dwarfers to stop them.
And appeared in the 1920s and actually had a prohibition on technology rather than alcohol.
Yeah, but the weird thing is that it's 1952, but everything is acting like it was in the 20s.
Yeah, it's true though. There's several fan fictions or even theories like such as Fallout in that universe, the microprocessor, the microchip, was discovered during World War II, and everything and Fallout being set in 22XX.
Yeah.
It all has a 1950s vibe, even though they have robots.
Yeah.
So it is at certain points in time when new technology comes out, it becomes time locked until a new advancement happens. So I think that it runs. I think taking on the line from Fallout did the same thing. Then, because of the Expeditors actually having a
well, basically they're
a prohibition on technology.
Yeah, exactly. They basically become the heads of the world. They are like only they are the only ones to have technology, really.
Yeah, and kills anyone who actually has it. So much so that apparently contraband is a toaster.
Yes, apparently toasters is considered a legal environment.
Yeah. And the Dwarfers, I forgot to mention, they expect to travel through time, and the Dwarfers follow through. But because of being following through, they actually arrive a few decades after it. Anyway, about that.
Yeah, it's funny. I think before we get into more detailed stuff, we'll ask this question. We'll both answer this. It's like, did we think this episode was funny?
Yeah, it actually has a few good laughs. It doesn't go for the really smart jokes, which Red Dwarf seems to be doing quite a lot since Series 6.
Well, Red Dwarf's always been, we could do very smart jokes and just very idiotic things at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the jokes is when they actually arrive and get hit by EMP. And they had the recharged Crichton.
Yeah.
He was holding the car battery clips. And I'm thinking to myself, I think just before I saw it, it's like, I'm guaranteed they'll put it on his nipples. And the compartments open up to show he has
his chest plate,
his chest plate has nipples.
Yeah.
It's one of those jokes I expect to happen, but it happened in a way I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Work that one out.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things that you think you know what's going to happen, but you're not sure how it's going to turn out. Yeah.
No. And you always have the similes or the analogies. It's like Crichton's been fried more than a Mars bar in Scotland.
Yeah. Which,
that one got an applause.
I know. Well, some people are wondering, is that an insult to the Scottish or not? And apparently some people have come in and say, no, it's all right, or, yes, it is.
Because it's a real thing. Deep-fried Mars bars.
Yeah, so there you go.
I've tried deep-fried ice cream. Work that out. It was fucking good.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, considering it was definitely considering the fact that going back to Crichton's nipples for a second, it is funny considering that this is the first time we've actually seen Crichton's nipples. We've heard about them being one spot temperature, one short radio signals. So it is kind of funny to finally see.
No matter how hard I twiddle it, I can't seem to pick up Jazz FM.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go, Dwarfers.
So you actually see his nipples. It's just kind of odd though, because there was a deleted scene in Red Dwarf 3 during Maroon at the beginning of
Yeah, there was. Yes, the deleted opening for Maroon where Crichton they're playing a game of strip poker and they're all getting their clothes off, and of course Crichton pretty much if you take his entire suit off, he's basically the same underneath, just all the sort of pinky colour that he is.
Yeah, and also in Red Dwarf did the same thing in Red Dwarf 8.
Yeah.
So that's kind of odd, but yeah, we get to see his nipples.
Yeah.
I wonder if it actually was the suit or Robert Llewellyn's actual nipples that is covered.
Okay.
We need to ask him that.
Yeah, well, if I meet him again, I'll ask him. It's like, so, was they your real nipples or the artificial nipples? You must let us know.
I guarantee they'll be the same places.
Yeah, There's a couple of things I want to talk about this episode. I mean, funny enough, someone's brought this up. Red Dwarf fan website is this episode. The plot largely is very much taken from Star Trek: First Contact, in which the Enterprise has to go back in time to stop the Borg, to changing alternative history and all that stuff. And it's funny when they said that. When I watched it, I wasn't literally thinking. I never thought at one point, "Oh, this is just a big send off of that." I just thought, "Oh, that's kind of funny." Yeah, when you say it like that, it is kind of similar.
Yeah, but it's being used. What the actual idea of aliens traveling back in time to halt humanity and technological advancements has been fielded a few times.
It has been done a few times. I'm just saying that when, particularly Red Dwarf, because I think someone's also pointed out that really the simulants are the Borgs of the sort of the universe of Dwarf. And in many ways, it's funny because they are kind of the only real recurring villain/threat in the series. Because everything else is either more of a nuisance or something they have to get over with.
Pretty much. It's just a lot of that, and the Gelfs are the only one. Although I don't really classify the Gelfs as enemies.
No, they're not really. The allies or adversaries, basically.
Sorry, say that again.
They're either allies or adversaries.
Yeah.
Really.
A lot of situations are in is like, oh, here's a space station, or here's something on a planet, and there's a wreck. Because like space is vast, 3 million years into deep space, and you got to find 1 or 20 species of aliens.
Exactly, and in the Dwarf universe, that's really they've only ever covered a series of cyborg robots and genetically engineered creatures. That's about it. You've never encountered technically aliens, real ones, in their world.
That's a good joke. You just made up a good joke.
Did I?
Yeah, I was correct. You were saying it's genetically engineered life form. You said genetically engineered creatures. So, like you could have a race war with that in Red Dwarf.
Well, you could. Well,
that could be a good idea.
Yeah, Doug Nail it. If you're listening, send us the check.
Yes, please.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
One of the because of the like alternate reality going back in time is like usually have in the 1920s and 30s there were such things called speakeasies.
Yeah.
Where one of the things is mind your P's and Q's, which is basically, oh, here's a automobile repair shop, but behind it is a bar where people are making moonshine.
Yeah, I mean, basically in this universe they treat science as in like elite, like alcohol. Like they have a little area where like a bunch of scientists get together to do science, and then as soon as they hear the cops are running around, they immediately say, "Quick, turn it into a bar."
Yeah. I can't remember who the actress was now. She was rattling off all the science stuff.
Yeah, the actress, the sort of like dame lady who's like, "Hey, you're looking for a good time, dear?" And doing it all of like science technobabble stuff.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else can actually make science sound sexy.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I did think when I was watching that did seem. I'm not saying that's not unusual for a dwarf to do, but I did feel like, I don't know, doesn't something like wouldn't that joke work more in The Big Bang Theory?
Possibly.
Right.
Although let's just say, I'm looking a bit more. I don't do The Big Bang.
Yeah.
That's Tina's job.
Yeah, I did. I will admit that was one of the funniest jokes in the episode, and then there's actually a bit where Kat actually waves at her. Speaking of which, Big Bang Beryl, as she's known as, was played by Rebecca Blackstone, and funny enough, she was in the last series, so this is her second time in Red Dwarf.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's a nice little thing. Although I prefer, like I said, nothing against the actress herself. I didn't find Pre really that interesting or funny, really, in an episode, but
It was an interesting episode, confusing at times, but interesting.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes that's what happens. You're in Red Dwarf 1, so you think, oh, I'll never go back in again. It's like, well, you never know. You might turn up as somebody completely different.
Yeah, no, can't think of anything.
I'm just saying that. I mean, Tony Hawk, for instance, he's been.
Oh yeah, he was Talkie Toaster. Then he appeared as a host in Better Than Alive.
Yeah, then he played as Emperor Caligula. Silent Scum.
No, he was the host. Then he was Talkie Toaster in series 4.
Yeah, I'm just remembering the one that I remember the most. Rasputin, I'm very cross indeed.
I haven't rewatched that episode yet. I'm rewatching the entire all previous 10 seasons. I know a lot of people say Back to Earth isn't season 9, but it appeared between 8 and 10. It's series 9.
Yeah, well, depending if you want to call it that.
To me, it is the ninth appearance of Red Dwarf.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, generally speaking, I mean, I'm trying to think of like the best. I will admit, the only thing that I thought was for the majority of the episode, most of the best jokes were on the guest characters rather than the main four.
Pretty much. I mean, one joke got a round of applause was when the one of the lady professor was talking to a cop, and he goes, "How big of an idiot do you think I am? Easy, just multiply mass by your volume."
Yeah, exactly, that huge gag.
That got a round of applause, and it took me a while to figure that out.
Yeah. And like I said, a lot of her jokes was basically everything she's saying is like, you want to do it outside, basically type deal, but with science instead.
Yeah, and saying the simulants have names now. It's just, I can't remember what the main
one is. What was it, 3 of 38 or something?
3 of 63.
That was it, yeah.
And that's how it rounds up, because you're expecting a big payoff, and it's just like, were you slagging me off?
Yeah, because that's the joke, because earlier on he says, like, what do you take me? Because basically he said, do you take me as an idiot? And then basically the other android, hang on, did you call me that earlier?
You're not better than 2 of 82.
Yeah.
And apparently that's a bigger insult.
Yeah, which, for all we know, probably for them it's like basically, you're no better than him, and he's a right twat.
You're no better than Paris Hilton's dog.
Yeah. By the way, the actor who played him was Kevin Eldon. Funny enough, he's actually the guy who's played Penfold in the new Danger Mouse series, so this is a nice little tie-in. And like I said,
I still haven't seen a lot many episodes. I just watched the pilot for that.
Yeah, but like I said, he's done a lot of comedy shows and dramas over the years, so he's been around a few times. And so turning up as a simulant, is probably like, oh, I guess I've arrived.
I don't know why I was half expecting Peter Serafinovich. Because that's the kind of role he'll be in.
All right. Yeah, but like I said, did what it did. The other thing that's worth mentioning is the simulants, because like I said, both here in the last series, we've had the rogues death simulants. And it seems to be more likely that the different types of simulants, and the last two we've seen are basically kind of flawed idiots.
Yeah, the last ones were kind of like a hierarchy.
Yeah, they were basically, they were humans. They were biomechanically, so they were part human, part cyborg, and of course...
Yeah, the other ones we've seen are pretty much punks. Like, they're probably like the front men. Then we get to hierarchies. These ones seem like in a science.
Yeah, exactly. I mean...
Like how the paradigm dialects have different colours for different jobs.
Yeah, so the different sections. So we see like ones that try to be more, proficient, more focused, and, all unified, but they're all bloody flawed. The fact that one guy slides him a sword and cuts himself open.
I want you to polish my sword.
Exactly,
You want me to... No. Ah, right. Oh, sorry. That head was with me. It's his kidney.
Yeah, exactly. That was an ad-lib, actually. That little scene where you guys like, ooh, that looks important. Yeah, so... It is funny, because it's kind of getting to a point now where people in the Red Dwarf universe are just as flawed and as idiotic as probably even the main crew.
It's better than the world of My Family, where everyone is a sarcastic arsehole.
Yeah, well, that's the thing when you get over the years. It's like, when you get older, you're thinking, well, everybody's just a moron. I might as well write morons.
Well, it works that way, because you think something really smart has to happen, but, simulants are always flawed. But overall, as the first episode, I'm not too sure it should have been the first episode.
Well, this is the other deal, because originally this was actually the last episode in the filming order. They did this in the weeks. For instance, I went on the third week when they were doing it, which turned out to be the episode Crisis, which is going to be the second to last. This was filmed as the last episode for Series 11. And then during the editing process, they were wondering, well, where do we put it? And the last minute they thought, well, why don't we put that as the first episode to sort of let the series off?
Yeah, it makes sense. Some episodes start off as kind of jump straight in, Camille jumped straight in, Hollow Ship jumped straight in.
Yeah.
The only ones that actually reintroduced, even Backwards jumped straight in, even though that was meant to be the second episode.
Yeah.
So it's going with theme. It's just one of the themes of the film episode,
Yeah.
I feel is like it took a lot of inspiration from Lemons, the episode from series 10.
Yeah. Basically, the Dwarfers end up going back in time to solve a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I would say the budget on this looks a lot better than last time.
Yeah. Well, this is the interesting thing because what has been
Say that again.
said apparently, but the way they organized this
start
time.
again.
Well, I'm saying. All right. Well, it's funny you say that is because Doug tweeted out saying that they had less money than they did in the last series, but the way they put everything together, the way it was scheduled, and how they were going to, basically use the money was much better put together than the Series 10. Because if you've seen the We Smeg documentary, basically it went from one bad thing to another, and to a point where they almost lost the series at one point. Literally, like they had a truck full of pretty much all the episodes in the unedited form, and basically, where are they? Bloody blah took them. Oh dear. So this time around, they've managed to get more proficient. They've been more proficient in terms of how they're going to set them out, how the episodes are going to be filmed, and particularly how they're going to spend the money on certain effects or whatever.
Yeah, I would think would reuse a lot of the set pieces from Series 10. Like even the model shots in this look fucking awesome.
Yeah, the model shot, I mean, this is one of the great things, is that they've actually got people who know how to film models, because last time it was basically, here's your asteroid, Phil. What's that? Blacklining. That's bin back for a mass asteroid. It's like, oh god, if it was me, if I was in that area in Doug's shoes, I would go like, get out. Just get out of the building. I don't want anybody here for an hour. And just probably like stroking my head for like half an hour going, oh my god, so what we're going to do. But luckily this time they've got the actual crew members who used to work in the original series, the model unit, to do it. And yeah, the flybys of Starbug and even the crash when they end up on Earth, it is pretty good. There's actually a really good shot of the perspective from the window, which we not really had much in Red Dwarf, have we?
No.
And that's something that you feel, because for years Doug Naylor wanted to do Red Dwarf as a movie, and it's sort of that thing that he would have done that in a feature film.
Yeah, how about Hugh Jackman as Lister?
Yeah, that whole business. But like I said, it's funny that they managed to do a shot like that, and it does look pretty damn good. It's a very ambitious episode, I would say, in terms of the idea and the scale of it, because they do go to a whole street that is meant to be sort of a 1920s America, and it does look incredibly good. I will say it looks visually really beautiful particularly for the first series of coming after 10.
Yeah, for a first episode show, yeah, this is how much of a budget we have. Not a lot, but we fucking make it work.
Yeah, it's basically we know what we got and we know what to do with it.
I was surprised that you took that from the set of Doctor Who.
Well, again, this has been... Well, funny enough, they used to do... Because Red Dwarf used to be filmed... It started in Manchester for the first 3 series. Then it moved to Shepperton from 4 all the way to 10. And this... And 11 and 12 has been all done in Pinewood, which ironically, the set space, in terms of when they do it in front of the audience, is actually smaller than the one they have in Shepperton. But, again, I think it's the way how everything was put together and organised. Again, maybe that's the reason why they moved to Pinewood. It's like, if we do it this way, we've got small space, but if we figure out, we plan it better, we'll know what to do, and we know how to make this work both in front of the audience as well as trying to tell the whole thing from beginning to end.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to the next episode, Samsara.
Yeah, I mean... Like I said, I don't really have any... I will say that the only down point is, like, there are some jokes or lines I do think, like, that could have been funnier, or that could have been a bit better, but I did laugh. I wasn't laughing out loud, but I did laugh at some of the jokes. Particularly, I think the one other great moment is what's wrong with your head is, like, I was bobbing for apples in a cement mixer.
There has to be a joke about his head.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had a decent what's wrong with your head type deal for a long time. So,
it says, well, people might ask questions. Just say you took your car to the car.
Tell them you had an accident. Tell them you went to Twentica.
Get your car crashed and I forgot to get out.
Yeah, exactly. You think I'm attractive? You, of course not. You're like a hard-to rubber tip pencil.
Hydron head and novelty condom head.
Novelty condom head, yeah. Just because I got the head of Herman's monster stuntman.
Herman Goring's stuntman.
Yeah.
God, so many insults about his head.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, generally, I think performance-wise, from the main blood, they're kind of from where they were in 10. Kind of
Feel.
the same feel. I mean, like I said, if you watch this right after 10, you will feel like this just sort of continues on where it left off. Naturally, though, like I said, we've got more of a scope to it. And I was saying to you that we're getting back finally to more the adventurous Red Dwarf. I mean, 10 was more stuck on the ship and kind of make
It was pretty much Red Dwarf 3-ish.
Yeah.
What 3 and 4 wasn't so much out of the ship, or minus about 3 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, again, Red Dwarf, 3 and 4 did have them getting on and off the ship, although that was because the episodes were written like that, whereas 10 was, they had all these other ideas, like, you've only got the one set, you've only got the ship, that's it. So, that was the major difference. So, I kind of like the fact that we're finally getting back to the more adventurous Red Dwarf, because we haven't really had it for a while. I mean, Series 8 was a more overt comedy, so Back to Earth was a comedy essentially was a drama show, but the problem was it wasn't very funny. And,
yeah, I had a few good jokes that Rimmer being a complete dick.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, the problem with Back to Earth was, again, it just wasn't really funny, especially for a comeback. I mean, for an anniversary title, it worked. It makes sense. It does a whole sort of celebrating thing, and it's sort of metafiction type stuff. But when you think of Red Dwarf, you think, well, I want it to be funny, obviously. And really, since then, it's really 10 and 11 and 12's main job is they've got to make us laugh. They've got to have at least decent jokes in, along with an interesting idea. Because that's what makes this show work, is that it takes science fiction ideas, but it plays them with these characters. And that's where a lot of the humor comes from. It's not just, Blah-de-blah does something stupid. It's like, no, there's like, well, what if we did a time travel episode? What if we did an episode about someone changing their persona or what they could have turned into? And it's basically, what would it be like if we did it on Lister or the cat? And that's really why the show, I think, has lasted this long.
Yeah, just take the simple hallmarks that people associate with Star Trek or Star Wars, and yeah, it's like, how many jokes can we make of this? Oh, we've got about 10 of them here. I've written them all down in 5 seconds.
Exactly. I mean, you very easily, if you're just going to spoof everything that's been done in science fiction, you're kind of going to end up going like, well, we've done that, that's been done, well, that's been done better or worse. Yeah. So,
like, one example that comes to my mind is in Polymorph. Where it's like, okay, set bazooka is a heat seeker. Just point the direction and do the rest. Like, over there in the showers, there.
Yeah.
Nope, sorry, my mistake. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And and like you said, it's going to be funny looking forward to the series because I only got to saw one episode being filmed, so what the rest has got in tow, we don't know yet. Though, from Twentica, I say it's an interesting, nice start. Overall, got some nice jokes. Like I said, some of the lines are not as funny as it should be, or a bit kind of predictable, but whatever. Yeah. And even I will say the weakest part is probably the very end, where they get back on the ship, and the joke is, we shouldn't rely on technology to do all the stuff, and Crichton's just doing everything Lister's whim. Which is
that could have been a lot better, but then again, the same thing kind of happened with Fathers and Sons.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of the same joke as like, no, I'm not going to bum around and be stuff. Oh, wait, a new video game. Right, I'm going to do that. So.
Yeah, so Twentica, I give 3 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, for me, it's a 3. It's a decent episode to start off with, and like I said, whatever the next episodes are going to be, should be interesting. Because, like I said, this isn't like Doctor Who where they're all building up to something. This is more going to be like, this happened, now this happens.
Next time we're going to talk about Samsara.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting. So hopefully we'll continue this series and not get too left behind.
There's like 6 episodes, we'll be that far behind.
Yeah, so we'll hopefully stay on track.